Um, do you ever like think about your work from like the point of view of sort of like an audience and how like the audience experience like will be structured and what are going to be like feeling or perceiving or thinking like an intellectual like aesthetic level and what kind of art they're going to be experiencing, or is like the work purely a sort of like inward movement that people are just like invited like to bear witness to, and if it's like a mix, how do you sort of like I don't know
Hmm.
experience or like negotiate with like the mix?
Yeah. Yeah, the second one for sure, more than the first one. This was like the f final topic of my last therapy session on Tuesday, actually. Well, I can't remember how we got there, but I was exactly talking about this thing about how I couldn't possibly be interested in trying to like work towards like a manufacturing of like trying to position people to like leave the situation with this or that feeling. I'm just like it's so flat to me, and not also very naive. I just find it really, really naive to think that we can do that for people or that we should do that for people. In this realm, that is like, okay, it's like if you're at McDonald's and it's like, yes, I want fries to taste this way. I want people to like kind of taste. Even there, it's naive because it's like you don't know what the fuck those people, what's happening on their tongues and what their taste bud patterns are. Like, how dare you? It's very, um, and I really, really don't like it when I'm in any kind of experience and have any I'm exaggerating, I'm obviously like exaggerating, but like when I feel that, fucking like someone like gently like turning my head and like to the side to like look at something in a certain way, I'm like, can you get your hands off of me? I don't need that. Why do you need me to do that? Why don't you think that I'm capable of extracting whatever information that I need to extract, maybe now, maybe next year, maybe never? Why do you need that in this context? I find it so weird. There's so many places where where we have to like have like in school and fucking whatever the grocery store. Like there's so many places where that exists. And it's like finally this is a place where we can like change the fucking timeline and the desire line. So this is just such a like yes, I want to I offer it to myself inside of the thing. I'm kind of like your Alexithymic. I'm not kind of. I am just like what you described of Ruth inside of my performances. But ish, because also I was thinking about this today. Also, I just like I spend enough time or something getting whatever version of concrete enough with what I'm approximately interested in exploring. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And that's enough concreteness. And so then it's, oh, where am I? What am I talking about? Mm. See, exactly, Ruth. Now I'm just constantly going to be thinking about your friend Ruth. Um, it's not, it's definitely not just like, oh, I don't know. I've just proposed these things and because I make enough things specific. I make enough things extremely specific, actually. And it's like, I'm like, that's enough specificity. And that will create enough of a kind of
Right.
alignment.
Have you ever
And
played
then
D&D?
No, I clearly I've been told a lot that I should probably do such
Because I think
things.
it kind of sounds like, oh, there's like a because in D&D, there's like the game master and there's like the players and they're like, co-creating a work of art, but like the game master's like work is to kind of like, think aesthetically, narratively, whereas like the player's work is to kind of like, think from the point of view of a character who's like that's like spontaneously immersed in the world. And kind of saying like there's like an internal division of labor, which sort of like up to a certain point in the development of the work, you're like the game master who's sort of
Yeah.
like, setting up sort of like parameters and references points and sort of like point of like friction and tension for yourself that you kind of like believe will produce something aesthetically like interesting or like discursively relevant or like entertaining or engaging. And then at some point in development of the work, you kind of like switch to becoming like the player who's like engaging with these parameters and is in a kind of like fully kind of like immersed, personal in the moment like stakes way
So yeah, so I am I'm just playing D&D.
with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend explained this to me the other day, what it is, and I'm like, that just sounds so. Yeah, I actually, even though I'm saying to you, I think that's what I do. I also like, in the context of like a board game and sitting at a table with, I'm like, how do you do that? I don't. I should sit in and watch it go down.
There's some like amazing like D&D is a kind of like performance, not performance art in the capital P sense, but it's like
Hmm.
a performing art has gotten like huge recently, and there's some people doing like people basically record their D&D games. It's gotten like amazing. Actually, it's like one of the groups that I really like sold out Madison Square Garden last year. For like for like people to watch them playing D&D. It's become a really, really
What?
interesting performing arts form.
Oh God, I'm so, oh,
I'll send
what?
you some stuff.
So you can watch these
Yeah, it
things.
was originally not meant to be that, but like in the last few years, it become, because it's a thing of stuff like, when something like internal, when enough people are familiar with something that has like an internal logic, it becomes something that people can only engage, can also engage with like as viewers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which kind of comes to like what I want to like to ask you, I
Mm,
guess, in response to like your answer, which is sort of like, when you watch, kind of sort of like, experimental dance or something, it's the board of experimental dance and like performance arts and experimental theater. Um, do you sort of like do you like engage with it in primarily like kind of like projected first person way when you kind of like imagine the experience of the performer or like imagine the sort of like the internal sort of like
mm,
mental and creative flow of the
mm,
performer and sort of like relate it like through that? Or do you feel like
mm,
sort of like the way that you engage with this kind of work, you know, as like a
mm.
viewer is like very different from the way that you engage with it, um, you know, as like a performer or choreographer. Um,
Yeah, I feel like a pretty, no, I feel like I'm pretty w watching it from the outside. In fact, it's like, oh my God, great. Now I can like lie back and I can just like uh, stare at the corner of the room while they do that and like let whatever's happening kind of trickle over me. And then I just like such a great opportunity for me to just get like very all
Plus,
over the place with my attention.
right,
And with my, yeah, and with understanding and perception and my feelings and uh certainly
right.
for sure I of course I'm gonna sometimes be like, how are they doing that? I know, that it's, for instance, I saw a show this week, last week, and they're just like like reciting lines. So for sure there was a lot of them like, how the fuck are they doing that? They're not fucking actors. Like, how did they memorize all this shit? So like sometimes I'm getting but no, mostly it's like I'm like, oh no, this is my chance to.
So for you, there is sort of like what you're it's like, what you put into the work, it, for you is not exactly it's not like you have an experience performing the work and like you hope that the audience what they will get with from it is a kind of sort of like model or kind of like projected experience of your experience in making the work. For you, it's like you're putting something out there, you don't exactly know what,